Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, boys. Marquee matchups trading today. I love this method. This can double your coins pretty much easily every single week, right? There's two different ways you can do it. I'm going to show you both of them. I know a lot of people do marquee matchups trading, but I think whether you do this religiously every week or whether you've never done marquee matchups investing or trading before, this video will be class for you. Don't worry about it. I think out of the two methods, I love number two, but I'm going to show you both of them, as if you do both of them every week, you can seriously double or triple your coins just using this every single week. So jumping in with method one, okay? If we jump over onto our favorite site, Futbin at the moment, I don't actually like it, it has too many ads, but yeah, whatever. Sponsor me, Futbin. We can see we're going to use the current marquee matchups. When I say current, this is not the current one. This was Chelsea-Liverpool I'm talking about. However, the international break has just been. We don't want to touch international marquee matchups. I'll explain more later. But I do want to talk about the current, whatever the current marquee matchups is when you're watching this, right? It was Chelsea-Liverpool about 2 weeks ago now. And method one is essentially taking advantage of these players that are needed in marquee matchups throughout the week. This is by far the safer method, and it's potentially less coins per card, but if you do this repeatedly every single week, you'll see how this stacks up, right? Liam Delap here, Chelsea player. Chelsea were marquee matchups at this time frame here about 2 weeks ago. This is the Friday. They went into marquee matchups on the Thursday, like sort of here off the graph, you can't see. And what you'll see already with Liam Delap is Chelsea players were needed for the marquee matchups. He has spikes in price, dips, spikes in price, dips. They're almost these constant spikes in price and dips. And then you'll see, right, Thursday, getting towards 6, getting towards 6. It hit 6 o'clock on Thursday. He's now no longer in marquee matchups as it's expired. The new one's out. And then he falls off a cliff back to discard. So obviously when you're doing this method, quick tip, just be out of all the cards before sort of Thursday, midday, obviously. You're working on this probably between Friday and Wednesday, I would say, is the sweet spot to work with the current marquee matchups cards. And you're going to be looking for these dips to sell in the highs. When do you know when to buy, right? All you need to do is track the current price of these cards. This Liam Delap is a very good example. As you can see, he has consistent dips and consistent highs, and all the marquee matchup players are the same, okay? What you're going to see is they're going to consistently hit a low point, and it might differ depending on how good the packs are for that marquee matchups or what, you know, what the requirements are. But in general, they'll hit the same sort of dips every time they do dip. So he hit between 900 and 1,000 coins as his dip, right? If he got to 1,000 coins at some point in this week, you knew it was a buy opportunity because he gets to the same highs again. He gets to 1.5, 1.6. He gets to 1.3. He gets to 1.4. He gets to 1.4. He gets to 1.6. He gets to 1.4 here. It was in the same highs and the same lows, and it's the same pattern for most marquee matchups players. It was basically, you could observe the pattern in this first day if you wanted to play it safe, and you go, right, I've observed the pattern. I've seen he hits a low here. I've seen he hits a high here. Then you could have bought this low, sold at this high. Bought at this low, sold at this high. So you have like loads of opportunities throughout the days, right? To catch all these little lows. Catch this low here, he's 950, sell at this high. You can even buy again, sell at this high. Like there's loads of opportunities to buy these cards when they're currently used in the marquee matchups. You need to buy them on mass. You can mass bid on them. Mass bidding's great on these cards. You'll often see these dips when people are not on the game as much. And when people are not on the game, mass bidding is king. Like you see, he was 1K here early morning Saturday before everyone gets on. Then people get on and you can see that they're starting to complete marquee matchups where he goes up. So the general thing for these dips is when people are not on the game, so like overnight UK time. The reason I didn't want to give you that is just sort of like a buy time is because it does vary per card. He just happens to be a nice like example of this. Again, you can see middle of the night Monday UK time or like early hours Monday. No one's touching this card. That's why he gets low. You can mass bid, buy, sell the next day when people are starting to get on the game. They start to complete marquee matchups again and he flies up again. When you're doing this method, boys, we're talking non-rare golds are king. Once again, like I say a lot of these videos, non-rare golds are rarer than rare golds. It makes no sense, but trust me, okay? Non-rare golds are king. They have lower dips often as well because they've not got that sort of 600, 700 coin price cap where they can't go below that. So you're working with non-rare golds. You're working with whoever's in the marquee matchup team. It's often that team in the bottom right. I can't show you on this account because we have got, ignore the Oscar Bobs, by the way, long story. But I can't show you on this account, but the team in the bottom right is often the one where the pack's worth the most. So it was Chelsea-Liverpool when I was showing you the lap, right? We've completed it on this one. So yeah, I can't. Oh, no, I can go into it. This is international, like I said. So you don't do it on international break. I'll go into that in the end when we go through the tips that you'll need to know. But it's this bottom right squad here because that normally gives the best pack. You give a Prime Electrum here. The others are just not as good. So it's the most completed squad. You can do it with some of the other squads if you notice that the price of some of the other clubs are higher. If they are, that's fine. Sometimes this bottom left squad has a really good pack, quite weirdly. Like it's worth less than the bottom right pack, but it's like more players or something. You know what I mean? It might be a premium gold players pack or whatever it is. In that case, you can often do it with the teams in the bottom left as well. But yeah, work with the teams in the bottom right. Both teams should work fine. Also, look for players that have a good nationality. I showed you Liam Delap there, and if we just go back over, Liam Delap's English, right? Imagine when you're building these squads, you need chemistry. So a lot of people do Prem teams. A lot of the Prem players are English. So they might need one more player when they're looking for a Chelsea player. So if it's England, they'll go for that one and they'll pay a bit more. So I ideally like to go for good, strong positions. Striker's a great one. And then good nations as well. So obviously England Premier League is perfect. One more example before we move on to method 2 is this. You try to say a name yourself. I'm not even going to try. 81 rated goalkeeper for Liverpool, who were the other team in the Marquee matchups around this time frame. You can see she's very similar. Look, 500 coins, huge spikes up to nearly 1,000 coins. When I said doubling your coins at the start, it's no joke, right? These cards, 600, again, big spikes around 1,000. Dips again, 700, spike to 1.2. You're close to doubling your coins just using method 1, and you can do this multiple times, remember? They have multiple dips. If you can pick up all of these, well, not all of them, but you can pick up a lot of these dips on the cards. You really are making serious coins if you can pick up a lot of these players en masse. But let's jump on to method 2, which is probably the more known method. It's probably the one more people do. I still think method 1 can make you a ton of coins, so please do both. But this one is really, really class. This one's amazing. I think it's just so good because of how simple it is, right? Again, if we jump back over onto the console and we take a look at here with Taro Endo. Now, it's a little bit interesting this week looking at the cards because one of the most hyped Marquee matchups, like expected teams, if you like, is going to be Liverpool again because Liverpool played Man United this weekend. So even though they were in it just a few weeks ago with Chelsea, people are expecting Liverpool to be in it again with Man United. But it does help me show my points. We'll jump into Endo's card, okay? We can see here, right? Endo, like we were speaking about before with the Delap example, he was in Marquee matchups and he comes out of Marquee matchups on Thursday at 6 o'clock as the new one drops and he hits discard, okay? And then this was the international break where obviously Liverpool are not playing Man United this weekend here. However, this one is simply looking to buy the cards to sell to other people investing, right? Selling to people in the hype. Because what happens is people have started to invest in this Endo, right? I'm recording this on Thursday at 3 o'clock UK, so there's still 3 hours until Marquee matchups comes out. And this guy's 900 coins. So Marquee matchups is not out. People are expecting Liverpool, so he's 900 coins, okay? Liverpool versus Man United has always been a fixture, right? That was always going to be a fixture like this weekend. You didn't have to predict that. It was always a fixture. So you could actually look at this on Friday, for example, if you were really early. And you could look and say, well, Liverpool Man United is going to be a fixture in a weekend's time. It's exactly, a week on Saturday, or it might be Sunday, I'm not sure. But it's going to be a fixture in a week's time. And he was 400 coins. You know this card's going to get hyped, right? So you can buy to sell. I'm going to talk about when I think you should buy these cards and when I think you should sell them. And I think that's what a lot of people get wrong, or possibly where they're just missing out on coins, okay? This is how I like to do it. Endo was a great hype investment because Liverpool were looking to go on Marquee matchups again. And so, therefore, he's going to go out, not out of packs. He's going to be needed in Marquee matchups. And he's a great example. He's 79 rated and he's a really strong position being centre mid CDM. Obviously, you can pick a better nation, but he's still a really great option, okay? So first option is you look like a full week ahead at the fixtures and you can see this card at 400. And imagine how many cards you could have picked up here, by the way. He was sat for basically like a day at 400, which means you can bid on him at 350 and pick up literally thousands if you had the coins, okay? So one option is just picking up super early. Be earlier than everyone else. It's not rocket science, right? Like I say, fixtures are always out. Be earlier than everyone else. There is a second option, which if, again, maybe you want to be liquid through the weekend because there's other things you can do with your coins through the weekend. I do get that. You can look to buy one of these dips on the sort of Monday or Sunday night, right? Where you can maybe pick up quite a few at 650, 700. But as you can see, he is at 900. There is coins to be made there, but obviously you're not doubling your coins here. Still really nice profit, right? 200 coins per card on such a cheap card. Don't scoff at that. That is still great. However, it's obviously not the same margin as if you picked up early, okay? Here's what I look to do with this, and here's what I think you should do with it. I would look to buy really early, right? I'd look to buy as soon as possible on the Friday, the Saturday, right? It doesn't have to be all your budget. Yes, it's a lot of cards. It's why no one else invests here. There's not a secret why this card's so low. Not a lot of people want to be doing it on Saturday because they've got champs rewards they want to open. So they don't want to go unassigned or they've got other things they want to buy and sell, right? However, that's if you're planning to hold all the way into next Thursday, which is definitely the most coins, and you definitely can do that. But it's as simple as this, boys. Look, right? This will happen every week. Why not pick up 100, 200, as many as you can? I don't know how many coins you're on at 400. And you don't have to wait until Thursday. Give it a day or two. And he's at 700 on the Sunday, right? Because everyone else starts to invest. So rather than selling to the people doing the Marquee matchups, just sell to the other investors. But if you could buy at 350 here on mass bid, right? So you mass bid at 350 and you go and sell them all at 700. That is doubling your coins. You can pick up as many as you want. And that is quite literally doubling your coins. You don't just do it on one card. You wouldn't just do it on Endo. You spread your investments. But they'll all rise the same. So it's literally doubling your coins. When would I sell, right? I think this is really important as well. Now, going back to the Delap from before, this is why this is such a hard question to answer simply. It's just because Delap, right? If you looked when the marquee matchups came out, and let's say you waited to sell on this Friday midday when loads of people were just completing the marquee matchups, right? He was 1.6. So if you picked him up, you can't see it on the graph like the early investments because the time frame. But let's say you picked Delap up 400 to 600 coins. The profit on a 1.6 sale, if you do that en masse, let's say 1,000 coins a card, and because he was 600 coins, you could pick up 200 of them. 200k on a non-rare gold trade is ridiculous, right? However, I don't always like doing that because this is obviously a one-off. He might not hit this, like say it was someone else in marquee matchup, they might not hit this high. So I have a sort of hybrid approach to how I sell these cards, and it's what I think you should follow as well. It's just the safest, but also the best return on investment, right? What I would do is use this endo again, okay? Let's say you picked up 400 coins here, or even you picked up a little bit later, right? Because he's now 900 coins. Let's say you picked up early, whenever. I would sell half my cards vaguely. It doesn't need to be exact, but I would sell half of my cards almost now, like when I'm recording this, which is sort of 4 o'clock on Thursday, where you could probably sell this for about 1,000 coins in like an hour or so. As everyone else is it's really close to marquee matchups, and everyone's buying like in the hype, right? So you could buy at 400, sell now about probably it's going to probably be 1,000 when it gets a little bit closer to 6 o'clock, and you'd like double your coins that way. However, for the potential rise, you then hold the rest of your cards. If Liverpool are in marquee matchups and they at that bottom right squad and everyone wants to do them, this endo card can obviously hit 1.4, 1.5, 1.6. It usually doesn't go much higher than that. Sometimes you get a rare occasion when it's 2k plus, but not often. But you can hit 1.5, 1.6 and make mega profits. I would only do this on cards you're very, very confident are going to be in the marquee matchups. If you're not confident on a card, get it all gone before 6. I'd still prefer selling in the hype. But I know a lot of people want to hold the cards for like the big, return on investment, like the Lee and Delap on these sky high graphs. But I would go with a hybrid approach. I would almost opt for selling about 60 to 70% in the hype and then sell the rest after Thursday when the marquee matchups has dropped. If your team that you've picked is not in marquee matchups, they're not actually in when EA drop it, you are screwed, right? That card's going to discard and it's going to discard fast. Like it's going to hit discard price fast, okay? It's why I prefer selling in the hype. You never get that like heart-dropping moment when your card hits discard. So, boys, that's all well and good, but let me drop you some tips that will absolutely make you a master at this method, okay? It's who you should buy to make the most coins, who you should prioritize, who to look for marquee matchup teams, that's a great one, and what I would do personally throughout the week, right, when I would do everything. Starting with who to buy, okay? In terms of who to buy, I would go with women cards, right? Because these women cards, if you were going to go Liverpool and Man United for this week, basically, people see that Liverpool men are playing Man United men on the weekend, and they're sort of slower to realise that also means that Liverpool women and Man United women will be going into the marquee matchup teams as well. So look at these women graphs. You sometimes get some crazy spikes like we've seen on this goalkeeper before. I want to jump into this Jess Park in just a second. But yeah, you look at these big spikes that you get in the women, and often, again, you can't see it on this graph because it was a while ago. Although I guess she was investable here as well. She was investable similar time to Endo. And if you see, that Endo hit about 700 coins on the Sunday, right? This card's 450, 500 coins on the Sunday because even though it's Liverpool, people are like slower to invest in these women cards. So say you got to Sunday and you hadn't invested, you can probably still invest in this card who is up at 650. And if you're going to be someone that holds through marquee matchups and you really expect this, like the Liverpool Man United one to be a squad in that bottom right, then she will hit the same highs Endo will hit. She'll hit 1k, she'll hit 1.5k because she's still required in the SBC. And I actually really like this card specifically because it's good nation, good rating, good position with the goalkeeper. So yeah, women cards are king. Non-rares are king, of course, we said before. Mentioned it before, but just to touch on it very quickly, don't touch international marquee matchups. The challenges are way easier. Just ignore these ones, okay? If it's going to be an international break, just for a week or two, I guess it's 1 week. Just for 1 week, ignore this. Another amazing tip that you need to do if you do this is diversify investments. Let's say you were choosing Liverpool, and I was talking about both of these cards separately. Buy both. Don't just go all in on Endo. Mass bid on both of them together. Snipe them both together. Buy both teams. Maybe buy Liverpool and Man United. Don't just buy one team, right? Diversify your investments, especially. And then the last tip, we're going to jump into this Jess Park, who was an amazing investment this week. But just before that, one more is also lazy sell these cards. Even if you're really planning on holding them through Thursday, through marquee matchups, please lazy sell them before, okay? Please, please, please lazy sell them throughout the day. It's just really worth it. You get some extra coins here and there. Don't ever not lazy sell when you're doing a method like this. Right, jumping into this Jess Park, essentially, she was going out of packs with Team of the Week yesterday, which means her non-rare gold Man United card, not her Man City card. Oh, we're getting on the wrong one. There you go. Her Man United card was out of packs, right? So you no longer pack this card, yet it has the same demand. So look what happened with her, right? Same thing happens where she starts to get a little bit of hype on the Mondays. People start to realize this investment, whatever, right? And you might have just bought her anyway. She's a great choice. Really strong position, strong nation, strong rating, right? For a Man United player. She's a woman card, so obviously less hype around her. So it's a great buy. You could have bought her anyway around discard, around 400, 500 coins, right? Then you can see on Tuesday, she gets leaked into Team of the Week here. She already gets that big rise, right? But then these dips here, I think would have been a great buy in time. 600, 700 coins is a great, great buy because you know that this card is already going to be worth 900, 1,000 anyway on Thursday, like the Endo is, right? So it's kind of a safe investment. And you can get something like this where you get a massive spike and she's now 1.2k, which makes sense, right? She's out of packs and there's no supply on this card. So this was a really good investment. And if you can combine marquee matchups with a player that's going out of packs, either from the promo team or the Team of the Week team, don't ever overlook that. Last thing to mention, boys, in terms of picking teams, it's quite obvious, okay? Look at the top 5 leagues, look at the games on the weekend, and just use your head a little bit and have a look which are going to be the big games. So here, Premier League is Liverpool, Man United. That's obvious, right? Bundesliga this weekend, Bayern are playing Dortmund, another obvious one. Go and look at Serie A, go and look at Liga 1. You're looking for the big boys playing. So Bayern, Dortmund, maybe Leverkusen in there. For the Serie A, do Inter Milan and AC Milan play? Do Juventus play one of the teams? Is it Napoli, AC Milan? For the La Liga, the Barca play Real. If it's Barca Real, it's such an obvious one. Do Atletico play Real? The Barca play Atletico? Just these big clashes, right? You can go league by league and look at who's playing on the weekend. Boys, go and start making coins using marquee matchups trading. If you can leave a like on the video, if this did help you out at all, it would really help, right? You boys have been class recently, showing the support. You've got a great little community going already. And if you've got any questions, by the way, just comment them down below. I'll get to every single one. If you're looking for other ways to double or triple your coins, boys, there should be a video on screen somewhere, who knows, about silver card trading. That can really double or triple your coins. So I'd really recommend go and check that one out as well. Use these, use like the two methods both together. You'll start to be on ridiculous coins, right? Takes you low budget to high budget pretty quickly. But like always, boys, until next time, see you in a bit.